Okay, great evening. Well, I am almost 2 weeks out from my thyroidectomy. I had a total thyroidectomy. You can see here the scar actually looks pretty good. It's healing rapidly, but I do have some lumps here underneath of it. There you can see it pretty well, a lump. But that will go down in time. But other than that, it looks pretty good that it's actually healing quite well. So I think tomorrow I should be able to actually take a full bath, which I am so looking forward to. So as you can hear, my voice is still raspy. It's much lower than my regular speaking voice was. So it's taking a bit of time for that to come back. Now, I was singing before, had operatic type voice. I have no singing voice now. That is going to take some time. But at almost 2 weeks out, I'm minus 1 day. I'm doing quite well. I've gone back on to regular diets, and I'm on my thyroid medication, which they put me on the levothyroxine, but I did add something to that myself, which was not prescribed by the doctor, but I'm also taking Thyroxine. And why am I doing that? Because with a total thyroidectomy, and they put you on the synthetic hormone, it does not convert to T3, which is what you need if you are not going to be gaining a lot of weight. Okay? So I said, okay, I can do this. So I have been adding this, and I am actually losing some weight, because before I had my thyroidectomy, I was gaining weight and gaining weight. I had gained about 15, 20 pounds. And so that is now starting to come off, thank goodness. And I got my, now when they did the thyroidectomy, they did leave most of my parathyroids in. You have 4 parathyroids. Well, one of them was taken out with the surgery because it was, the doctor said it was attached to the back of my thyroid. So when he did the thyroidectomy, that came out. But with 3 of them, they should function just fine. Now, when they do the surgery, it can shock your parathyroids. So they may put you on calcium for a time. So he had put me on 2 calcium pills 4 times a day. But I went in for a week, right after my surgery for the checkup. And they did my blood tests. And so he called today and said I can start lowering the dosage of the calcium pills that I'm taking. So they are weaning me off of those. And so in another week, I will be off the calcium totally. So looking forward to that, because I'm not somebody that really loves to take pills. So, but of course, I'll be on the synthetic thyroid medication for the rest of my life. But It's not that bad. It's a small pill, and you take it the minute you get up in the morning. So, easy. I was a bit worried about it because you can gain weight, like I said. So that's why I did my research, and I did get, and this is working quite well, adding the this Thyroidectomy to taking my thyroid medication. So 2 weeks out, I have no complaints. Like I said, I'm actually doing quite well. This is healing quite rapidly. I should be able to take a full bath tomorrow. I am not a shower person, so I am so looking forward to this. Oh, my goodness. Now, with the surgery, the first day was really rough. Very painful, I have to admit. I could not swallow. My throat inside was so swollen from having the breathing tube that they put down, and when they're doing the operation, your head is very put back like this, and I have arthritis in my neck, and so taking out the breathing tube and having my neck like that, I think my surgery was about 3 hours. So when I came out of it, all my muscles here were just rocks. So I had a lot of, tension headache, and just my throat was so swollen inside that I couldn't swallow. The only thing I could get down to eat was some applesauce, and that was it. Even cottage cheese would stick in my throat. I couldn't even swallow cottage cheese. That's how painful it was day 1. Now day 2, before, they kept me overnight there. Only because I was going to drive myself. I drove myself there and home. So they wanted to keep me overnight because of the having the anesthesia and stuff. And the anesthesia is a bit tough. Okay, it was a bit rough. But like I said, day 2, I was able to kind of get down to cottage cheese, sort of, but that was still rough. It was still very painful to swallow. Now, they had given me oxycodone once when I was in the hospital, but actually it did nothing for me. It didn't touch the pain. It just gave me a massive headache. I do not do well, and I do not like to take narcotic type of medications. Now, they did send me home with oxycodone, which I did not take, and they also sent me home with ibuprofen, which I did take for the... I did take it for about 3-4 days because of to make sure about inflammation and things, and also was helping with pain. But every day it gets a little better. So with it a week out, I was eating again a full regular diet. Okay. I was okay with that. But the first number of days at home, I did eat, soft items, soft foods, because it was still painful for about 3-4 days. Every day it does get better, Every day I would wake up and I noticed it was getting a bit better. Now, day one, I couldn't speak well. I was whispering. It was like this. That was my voice. That was my voice. And day two, it was, I got some more voice back. But like I said, my normal speaking voice is about an octave higher than what it sounds right now. The first week, though I could speak, my voice would get very tired very rapidly, okay, because it's still swollen, and the muscles in there sometimes get a bit damaged and take a while to recuperate. At least that's what my doctor told me. Sometimes it's the irritation of the breathing tube that they put down your throat, and then sometimes you can just, because of the operation itself, have difficulties with the muscles. And it feels like mine, because if I go try to sing, it feels like it's musculature in there that I'm having the difficulty with now. But every day, my voice is getting stronger. Like I said, it still doesn't sound like my voice, but it is getting stronger every day. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else to say about having the thyroidectomy. I think that's about it. Now, in my case, I had a lot of nodules and stuff, and I was fortunate they did not find any cancer in them, so that part was good. But yeah, overall, I'm not unhappy that I had the operation, and I think it's really gone about as well as it could go. I'm 73 years of age, and sometimes when you're a bit older, it might take a bit longer to heal, but I think it's just going gangbusters, actually. Like I said, I don't have anything really negative to say about having had the thyroidectomy, except for kind of the pain of having to take the calcium pills and this other stuff for a time. And, if you're a singer and you want to sing and you can't sing for a while, that can be a bit challenging. And just it sounds so weird when you hear your voice. Now, what was funny, yesterday I had called, and I used to work at this place, and it went to a voicemail, and it had my old recording on there, and I heard my voice, and it was so strange. Because my voice was so high compared to this. Oh my goodness. But eventually I should get my voice back. But other than that, no, everything has been fine. Now, one thing I did with taking my calcium, because you got to take it at the beginning, 2 pills 4 times a day. So I did take my phone and I did set up alarm times to remind me when I needed to take my medication. So that worked really well. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else to say for people going in, what to expect. They'll put in the IV, and then when you're under, they will add another IV as well. And so when you come out, you may have a couple of IVs if they keep you overnight, because they're going to want to check your calcium level. If your calcium level is low, they will usually keep you overnight, and they don't want to let you go until your calcium level is at a good level, okay? So that's one thing that they do if you're going in for your thyroidectomy. And then usually after, you'll go back and see your surgeon, in a week or 2 weeks, some point of that, to just check how it's healing, to make sure you don't have any kind of infection, etc. And they'll probably want to do a panel to check your calcium levels, etc., to make sure that that's okay. So one thing they do tell you, though, if your calcium drops and is really low, you will have tingling in your fingers and around your mouth. And if that's the case, then you need to take 2 more calcium pills. If it doesn't stop, then you need to go to an emergency room, because that could mean it's dangerously low. Now, I haven't had any of those types of problems. My parathyroids are kicking in. Looks like they're starting to work again. So that's all good. I know it can be a bit nerve-wracking for people going in to have a thyroidectomy. But I say the worst part of it is, having had the that breathing tube down. Now, what I found out with the breathing tube, it's got sensors on it for when they're doing the thyroidectomy. And the sensors, as they're doing the operation, they want to make sure that your vocal cords are fine, and it can register how your vocal cords are doing. So that's something that's different when they're doing a breathing tube for a thyroidectomy versus a regular breathing tube. Now, they will, in my case, you go in and they put in your IV, you change into a hospital gown with nothing on underneath. Okay, you're going to change into your hospital gown. Now, I guess for some people, if they're really nervous, they will give them something to relax them. I didn't have any of that. So they wheel you into the operating room. They transfer you from the bed, they bring you in onto the table, operating room table, and it'll have a lot of lights above, big lights, and they're kind of laying you out like this, and they're hooking you up to all of these monitors, etc. You just feel like, because they're putting stuff on for your heart to monitor your heart, etc. So they're hooking you up to all these machines. And next thing you know, they put on the mask and want you to breathe deeply. I guess they want to make sure that you're getting enough oxygen. And then after that, it's just regular oxygen. There was nothing in it except for straight oxygen. And then the next thing you know, they're putting in your IV, they're putting the anesthesia, and you're going out for the count. And it's very quick. 1 second you're conscious and the next second, boom, you're gone. They don't have you count backwards or anything. Now at other surgeries, they've had you count backwards. In this one, no, it's just boom and you're just gone. You're gone. Now what was so weird was coming out of the surgery. I just had this, as I was coming back out into consciousness, I just remembered being in some place that was bright yellow. I mean, really brilliant yellow, sparkling kind of colors, and was talking with someone there. And I think it was talking about perhaps the surgery, that everything was fine, etc. But that was such an odd thing to remember, okay, of being somewhere. I wasn't talking with hospital staff or anyone. I was out somewhere else and speaking with somebody else in a very brilliant yellow. I just remember that color. It was like a sparkling, brilliant yellow color wherever I was at the moment. And whoever I was speaking with, maybe guides, masters, but somebody about, I think, the surgery or whatever. I don't remember the content. I just remember being in some other place, and as I was starting to come back conscious from the anesthesia. So I don't even, I'm trying to remember. I don't really have a memory of coming out of the operating room. Yeah, I don't know how I got off of the operating room table. I don't know. They lifted me off or whatever. I don't know. But I woke up in recovery, and, it went from there. So, yeah, the doctor's been very good. I've been very happy with with everything. But I have to say the most long-term thing is just waiting for your voice to recover, okay? It's not painful any longer. It just sounds stressed, that's all. It just sounds weak and, again, lower than normal. And this is just going to take time to fully heal and come back. But like I said, the surgery scar is healing quite quickly. I do have a lump here, but sometimes they say where they take out the most tissue and stuff, sometimes you will get some fluid filling that area for a time, but that will go away. So it's not something that you need to worry about. In my case, they used glue and absorbable sutures to close this up. And it did have a steri tape across it. But after I went to see my doctor to consult with him, I asked to take it off. So I did take it off so I can get some air to it. But yeah, he just let me know about, like I said, that I lost one parathyroid because it was stuck to the back of my thyroid. And that everything had gone well with the surgery, and they got the report back and there was no cancer, thank goodness. And so that was it. So that's what happens when you go for your thyroidectomy. And about the recovery. So every day you will feel, at least in my case, every day I could feel an improvement in things. Okay, there was some improvement daily. But the first 3 days were really pretty rough with being able to eat and swallow. It was quite painful to swallow for about 3 days, 4 days. And then after that, it got increasingly better pretty rapidly. So, yeah, that's the main thing. So be prepared when you come out to have things like, I would have things like bone broth. So more liquid type things for the first number of days. And then slowly, I could have things like, you can have like eggs, omelet, something like that, softer things, easier to eat, and that works out quite well because you want to try to get as much protein and things in as you can have for healing. That helps with the healing process. And I think that's about it, what to expect when you go in for your thyroidectomy and what happens for your first couple of weeks out. So yeah, on that note, I'm going to leave it here, and I hope you have much success with it. But like I said, it doesn't mean that you will gain weight after. That was one of my big concerns because I had been gaining weight. And I had heard when you go on the synthetic hormone that you can gain quite a bit of weight pretty rapidly. And so that was some research that I had done. And I found out about that if they take your whole thyroid out, it will not convert to T3. And that's what you need to do to keep your metabolism going in order to be able to not gain weight. Otherwise, you're only having T4, and it's like having a low thyroid, okay? So that's the one big thing that I did research, and I just kind of didn't understand why, if they're doing a total thyroidectomy, they're not putting you on the armor, because that does have T3 in it and T4. But your Synthroid or the other generic version only has the T4. Okay, so that's just something to maybe talk with your endocrinologist about if it's a concern for you. So thanks for tuning in. I hope this has helped somebody out there to relieve some ideas about what happens when you have a total thyroidectomy and the process of what happens, okay? So I'm going to leave this here. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you online.